the lecture. Because those who ask questions may ask a question that you may want to ask, but they ask it first. Yes, sir. The question is? Well, arrange it, and I'll be right back. Just get the mic and everything. Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes very much out of control. Would you give that to children also?
Are you talking about children, right?
Children, yeah.
And this is what they call ADD, attention deficit disorder?
It's a variety of things that they call it, but it's sort of like that.
Well, it's the same thing, isn't it?
Same thing. And also,
well, let me say this. Example, there's a young man came to see me in Los Angeles with his child. He's 9 years of age. And when he came, the little boy was doing this. And he was never standing still. He would go by the window and look outside. The boy was what? He was extremely nervous, right? I gave the man the package that I'm going to give all of you if you come. And I gave him a bottle of Maya. 9 o'clock in the morning. When he got to Watts, which is in L.A., he called me 5 o'clock that evening. He said, Dr. Sebi, I don't know how to thank you, but the coolest dude in the house is my son. The boy was lacking of what? Iron. He was lacking of iron. You see, iron, the deficiency of iron causes 40 different manifestations of disease. Yes, he was lacking of iron. You and I have not had iron in 500 years. Don't come to me with beets, because that doesn't have any iron in it. That stuff is artificial. The child needs iron. So what we're saying here, since we won the case in the Supreme Court, we have the right to demand the government to feed our children and to give our children the stuff or the substance that is consistent with the gene group. We don't have to submit to those insurances saying, well, we only recognize traditional doctors, and we don't recognize these others, but you're dying. So it means that the insurance company has bridled us, that they could tell us who you should go to. That's not true. That is not true. After winning that case and setting a precedent, then it means that you have the right to choose those who complements. You don't want an alternative medicine. I don't believe in alternative medicine because it doesn't complement. I believe in complementary medicine, which is a little bit different. Yes, ma'am.
Question about Alzheimer's. You talk about Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's is what on the brain? The mucus that causes sinusitis, the mucus that causes bronchitis, the mucus that causes pneumonia, the mucus that causes inflammation in the prostate gland, the mucus that causes endometriosis, and then vaginal discharge. Where is the mucus now if someone has Alzheimer's? On the brain. That's right. Next.
Dr. Sebi, since having been introduced to you, I've bellowed the virtues of sea moss, as you have. But I'm having a great deal of difficulty finding fresh sea moss in this country. Can you, A, elaborate on the benefits and the virtues of sea moss, and secondly, perhaps help me find some fresh sea moss in this
Very good.
Thank you.
Sea moss is known scientifically, there we go again, chondroscriptus, am I right? Sea moss comes from the ocean. It locks onto a rock. And from that rock, it receives its nutrients. Dr. Sebi, how could that be possible? A plant hold on to a rock? Yes. Scientists have yet to understand how could a plant hold on to a rock and then give you food. But you know what they did? They invented a word. This is the word. A 15-letter word. They call it iantropherosis. Now dig that. They don't understand the workings of God, but they're going to give it a name. That a plant has the ability to convert a solid oxide substance into a liquid digestible substance. They call it iantropherosis. Sea moss does that. And every plant does that. But sea moss has iodides, bromides, it has all of the minerals, phosphorus, which is good for the thyroid gland, which is good for the endocrine system, and it's going to give you energy. And it has muscle food. They call it manito, sea moss. Where do we get fresh sea moss? Incidentally. Like the man, the man made peppermint, and he made aloe vera. He made noni juice. He made vitamin C out of acerola berry. Well, guess what he did in Boston? And you guys don't know it, and it's dangerous. The man went to the ocean and got a piece of sea moss because he knows that sea moss grows in the ocean where the sea is in constant motion. Sea moss doesn't grow where the sea stands still. It has to be in motion, and sea moss grows. So this man in Boston went and got pieces of sea moss, put it in this brine with salt on a machine, and he moved it. The machine is constantly moving. And lo and behold, the sea moss grows very thick and very fast. And when you get a little bit of it and you put it in the pot, it gives you a whole lot of mucilage. The natural sea moss doesn't give you a whole lot of mucilage. And the talus of the sea moss, I mean the little strings, thin like this, very thin, just like this. But the other one is 3 times the size. And the other one, 3 times the size, it always has salt on it. Natural sea moss has no salt on it. And it gives you energy. Where are you going to get it? Well, we are importing sea moss. We have a whole box of fresh sea moss in Chicago where I just left to come and see you because Mr. Gray said, wait, drop Chicago and come to Philadelphia. Well, I did. And I had just received a shipment of sea moss. My brother owns boats that travel the Caribbean, all the way to Colombia and Venezuela. And he always sees sea moss on top of the ocean. It looks like gold. He would harvest it and bring it to me. And since Mr. Charles Gray is head of the Genesee School, we will be collaborating now to facilitate these things to you. You will get fresh sea moss because I will be sending it to him. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And what the brother asked is a very good question. All of you males should drink a lot of sea moss. All of the females too, because it strengthens the connective tissues. Oh, yes, it does. And according to your, not according, but your reproductive organs would definitely love it. Women in Honduras uses sea moss to give themselves a douche with. And you'd be surprised what you feel. Yes, sir.
First of all, I'd like to thank you and welcome you for coming down here tonight to see us and impart this great information to us.
Well, I thank you very much, and I feel so grateful.
Several years ago, a friend of mine introduced me to you, and we talked over the phone several times when you were in Brooklyn years ago. I have also had power packs, and I have also no longer have high blood pressure because of that. Secondly,